Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the our traffic training for tonight. And we are going to get into uh, pretty much the same thing that we always do in order to kind of help you out with your traffic. Of course, if you have any questions, I want you to feel free to write your question there in the box. I do have some things that are prepared. And if you have any questions regarding getting traffic to your site, getting traffic to your offers, please feel free to type them right in there. If you are looking to reach your make money online niche, right? There are certain things that you can do, but if you're reaching any niche, the stuff that I'm going to be talking about here on these calls, you can use to reach any niche. So you don't have to worry about if you're not trying to reach the business opportunity niche or you're not trying to reach the make money online niche. Really and truly, traffic is just about everywhere. You want to just bring them into understanding that you can meet whatever their problem is, you can answer their questions, and you have something that will help them to solve the problem that they are looking to solve. So that being said, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them there in the box, and we can talk about anything that you want to talk about with respect to traffic tonight. And if you don't have anything here, I'm going to go ahead and start pretty much where I did last week. I want to pick up on some of what I talked about. And so I'm going to put my presentation up there. And again, I want to encourage you that if you have questions, this call is still for you. Okay, so let's see. Sue, you can't see. Okay. Okay, if you can hear me, if you can put the number 1 in the question box. Okay, very good. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what I talked about last week. I want to start at this point, and I want to start talking about, and I'm not talking about direct marketing in the traditional definition. I'm just talking about some ways that you can reach your customer directly, right? And so let's kind of dive in here. Now, one of the things, and I was talking about paid traffic last week, and this is a different kind of paid traffic. One of the things that you want to pay for is you want to make sure that you're paying for premium products with master resale rights and PLR, and that you or even have them created, right? So even if you have to go out and you have to have something redone, I mean, people have hired me to create PLR products. I don't do it anymore. You probably have heard my voice on other people's products before. I've probably done the last of that probably the last year or so. So really and truly, you can actually have someone create your own unique PLR product, and every price is going to be negotiable, right? So that's one way of being able to do it. Certainly, another thing that you can do is you can go out and purchase, and I recommend you purchase premium products with master resale rights and PLR. I recommend you do that. And one of the things you're going to be using that for, of course, is you're going to be using that for a unique bonus, right? Unique bonuses. If you can buy master resale rights plugins, if you can buy PLR plugins, if you can buy software that you know is going to be reliable. Now, one of the things about software, I don't necessarily like to give software as bonuses a lot unless I really and truly know the vendor, right? Unless I really know and truly know that the person whose bonus I'm going to be giving is going to be standing behind it. That's pretty rare. I do it from time to time. I think I'm doing it today. But again, it only happens when I sort of know where that product is going to come from. Otherwise, I kind of stick to information. And you want to do the same thing when you're doing unique bonuses. But definitely don't be afraid to spend a little money to have unique bonuses to offer to your customers in order to get them to buy. Now, the other thing that you can invest in is called solo ads. You can invest in solo ads. A solo ad is basically where a person already has their list. What you're going to do is you're going to pay them a fee. They're going to put your email, or they're going to put your offer or your opt-in page inside of their email, and they're going to send it out to their list. When you buy solo ads, you want to make sure that you are getting someone that is reputable. You want to make sure that you're getting somebody who has been vetted. You want to make sure you're getting somebody who has already been tested. Don't allow your money to go to someone that's new. So if you want to try somebody that's new, that's fine. But just be ready so that that money, you don't really need to have a return on the money that you're spending on somebody that's entirely new. That's great if you want to test somebody, but in general, you want to find people who have a responsive list and who have been trustworthy to get that email out. So solo ads do work. If you're looking for solo ad providers, you can find them in the Warrior Forum. If you are with me so far, please put the number 2 in the question box if you understand everything that I just said so far. Right. And I'm just kind of going through the end of the paid traffic training that I did last week. Just kind of going through that. So if you understand so far, please put the number 2 in the question box. And I'm going to keep moving. So solo ads is another way for you to pay for traffic. And of course, you're going to pay for these people to be put onto your you're going to be paying to put onto your into your what should I say? They're going to be put into your autoresponder, right? Well, yeah, okay. So even Dr. Faye, the same thing is true going to be for your products in GPD. You can actually send people. One of the ways you can do that is actually send people to the by solo ad. Right? You can actually send people by a solo ad to some of the offers that you have inside of Genius Paydays. I would recommend that before you actually send somebody to an offer, though, that you give them the opportunity by pre-selling them. So in other words, when you're gonna send cold traffic and they don't have a relationship with you yet, I would suggest that you at the very least send them to a landing page where you're going to explain to them what they are about to see. So in other words, you get the solo ad, you send people from the solo ad to your landing page where they're going to have a video. And on that video, you're going to warm them up for the sales page. And you're going to warm them up. And whatever you do in your pre-sell, you're going to emphasize the benefits of what they're about to see. And then you're going to send them on by link to the offer in GPD. Okay, so that makes sense to you. So Dr. Faye, does that make sense? Okay, everyone, if that makes sense to you, please put the number 3 in the question box. Okay, if that makes sense, please put the number 3 in the question box. Okay, so solo ads is another way. Now, another way to do this is going to be what are called ad swaps. Ad swaps. Now, what are ad swaps? Ad swaps are when you have someone that you know and they have a list. They have a mailing list and they've got a size of, I don't know, maybe they've got a size of about 2,000 people on their mailing list. Your mailing list is going to be about 2,000. What's going to happen there is that you are going to actually send their offer to your list. They are going to send your offer to their list. You are basically swapping lists. You're swapping emails. So in other words, they're going to get opt-ins because you sent their offer or their squeeze page out. You're going to get people because they sent your squeeze page out. So this requires that you have relationships with other marketers. And one of the things I have been talking about over the last couple of weeks is that you have other relationships with other marketers so that you can actually have someone to swap ads with. So in other words, you're going to send an email out saying, I'd like to introduce Vern Rhodes to you. Then Vern would then go out to his list and say, hey, I'd like to introduce Charles Harper to you. And what's going to happen is I'm going to get some opt-ins. He's going to get some. But that requires that Vern and I know each other, right? Because I'd have to approach Vern and I'd have to say, hey, you know what? On Wednesday, I'd like for you to send my offer out, right? I'd like for you to introduce me to your list. So an ad swap is a way for you to do this without having to pay out, but you do need to have, at the very least, a relationship with another person. And the reason I call it paid ads is because on the day that you're going to be mailing, obviously, you're not going to be making money. It's an opportunity cost, right? How many of you all know what an opportunity cost is? In other words, I could have been making money on a particular day, but I chose not to because I'm going to choose to build my list instead by sending out Vern's because he's sending out mine. Right. So if you understand the concept of an ad swap, please put the number 4 in the question box. I'm going to move on. Now, another thing you're gonna want to do, and this is the hardest. I think this is a bit of a difficult thing for people, but you have to understand this in internet marketing. When you first start, and you're going to offer an affiliate commission, and I've heard people kind of get stuck on this, and I want to explain the logic to you. When you have a product and that product is going to be priced between $9 and $17, and I want you to hear me on this, right? You have a product, it's priced between $9 and $17. You are going to want to consider giving 100% commissions to people who make sales, right? Now, and please do not be bothered by that, right? Because what you want to do when you are actually offering 100% commissions, you are actually sending people, right? You're actually sending the person who brings a new buyer the entire sale price, right? But what have you actually paid for? What you've actually paid for is a buyer lead, right? You've actually paid for a buyer lead. That's what you're paying for. So you're actually sending that commission directly. In some cases, if you're using JVZoo, you are actually sending that commission immediately, right? So in other words, they're going to get paid immediately upon making a sale for you. Now, what that does is it builds your list, and what the affiliate does is they're going to be a little more enthusiastic, right? They're going to be a little more enthusiastic about mailing for you and about mailing your offer, right? About mailing your offer, and you are going to then get more opt-ins. Okay, Jeff, I will check with support on your request. Okay, thank you. I did get it. I think I did talk to them about it, but I will talk to them about it again. So my apologies. And then I will speak with them. Okay, so in terms of affiliate commissions, again, when you have a small dollar amount, $9 to $17, please be willing, right? Be willing to go ahead and pay entire commission, basically 100% commissions. And again, I call that paid advertising because you are generating leads that way. Now, what you're going to need, though, is you're going to need to have a funnel. Right now, I'm not talking about the buzzword. I know that funnels are all the buzzword today, but you do want to have at least another offer that's likely to convert, and you want to have an upsell that you can expect that some people are going to take you up on, where you're going to actually see the profit from your being able to create a product and have someone else mail for you. Right. So if you understand what I mean by 100% commissions and why that's important, I'm going to move on. Right now, I'm going to say a little bit about affiliate prize money, and I'm going to put up another thing right here. I want to say this about, I want to put all the points right here for this one thing. Okay, affiliate commissions, affiliate prize money, and the fact that, let's say that by the time you pay out your affiliate prize money and the time you paid out the affiliate commissions, that all you're doing is breaking even. Then what have you done? You might say, well, I didn't really make any money by the time I do all that. But what you've done is you've increased your buyer list by however many sales that you have, and you have a buyer's list, right? So if you want to have a buyer's list, one of the best things you can do is to create a product, give away 100% so that affiliates will be enthusiastic, and every person that comes through your marketing funnel then becomes your lead and their buyers, right? So again, all you're really doing, right? All you're really doing is paying for leads. And some of your launches, right? Some of your launches, I want you to get this, some of your launches need to be just for lead generation. So if you get that, please put the number 5 in the question box. So in other words, we're doing a launch just so we can get traffic and leads. Right? We're not expecting to make money. All we're expecting to do is to break even. And one of the ways that we get our money back, though, is to make sure that we have a funnel and we have an upsell that's going to convert. Right? That's where you're going to make some of your money back. But it's okay if you don't make all the money back, because you're going to have buyer leads. When you do your second product, right? When you create your second product and you mail it out, right? You're not going to be sharing that with affiliates. And it's important for you to understand that, because you want to play this game. You want to play this game one step away from right at the edge. So in other words, you don't want to live on what you make in a launch, right? Don't ever get used to that. If you can get to the point where everything in the first couple of your launches you're going to put right back into the business, what you're going to see is you're going to grow your list quickly. If you have to eat on what you make in a launch, you'll still grow your list. It's just not going to grow as fast. So you want to start trying to get to the point where you can do at least one or a couple of launches without making anything, but doing nothing but generating leads, right? And you generate leads faster by being willing to pay out that 100% commission and being willing to pay out a little prize money, right? Now, make sure that you do the math on the prize money. So in some cases, what you might need to do is you might need to set a minimum. So in other words, if you're going to pay out $100, right, as your third place prize, you might need to set a minimum of X number of sales, so that you know that if this person makes that many sales and you got to pay out $100, you're going to have it, right? Does that make sense? So all of these things together, you're going to pay out the prize money, but you are going to do the math on it. So if you're going to have 5 prizes, first prize, second prize, third prize, fourth prize, and fifth prize, you might need to set minimums on them. Again, so that you'll know that you'll have the money when you make sales, right? And not to be afraid in order to break even on the list. So that's pretty much all I really want to talk about last week. I didn't have time to expand on that. I want to get into session 6 tonight. And I want to talk a little bit about the buyer infiltration method. And those of you who have been with me for a little while, you know that this is a favorite method of mine, and I teach it in everything that I do. And it's so incredibly powerful that most people don't do it. Right? It does require you to have some relationships. I will say that. It does require that you have met some people. So once again, and I don't want to say that I'm trying to push this, because I'm not promoting this directly or through an affiliate link, at least not tonight, is that if you can go to a conference, I think the JVZoo conference this week, right, or next week, is in Orlando, Florida. The tickets are still available. If you can go, right, I think you should try to go meet some people. The Russell Brunson's Funnel Hackers Conference is in San Diego. I think it costs $697, but again, you're going to meet some people there that you're going to be able to partner up with, right? You're going to meet some people there that you're going to be able to do the buyer infiltration method with. And so if you had to pay $600 in order to meet some people, and then you ended up doing what I'm going to be telling you now, right, you would have been able to get your $600 some odd dollars back and more. Now you might say, now how am I going to do that? And so what you're going to need, right, is, once again, you're going to need to have an original product. So in this particular case, I'm not talking about master resale rights or PLR, right? So to do the buyer infiltration method, this does require you to create an original product. Again, it doesn't have to be a work of art. It just needs to be yours, right? It needs to be yours. It needs to be something you created. Even if you were inspired by some of the ideas you got from PLR, it shouldn't have anything in it, right? Anything in it that looks like something that you bought. It should be something that you created, right? You need to have an original product for sale. You need to have some contacts who launch products. I just talked about that. And what you're also going to need is you're going to need to ask them if you can put your product as a bonus, right? Here's what you're going to do. You're going to talk to your contacts and you're going to ask them if you can put your product as a bonus either on their download page or in their members area. Right, and I think I want one of you. I was on the phone with one of our community members yesterday, and we were talking about this, and I just it sparked my memory about one of the things that I mean honestly, one of the reasons why I like this so much is it's something I did, right? And it's something that's real, and it's something that works, and it still works today. So you can always put a high value product on someone's download page. Now expect this, right? You have to expect this, that when you start asking people, and you start asking people if you can put your product on their download page, they're going to say no. More often than they say yes, they're going to say no. And you can't take it personally, and you can't stop asking, right? There are probably about a gazillion marketers doing internet marketing. So if somebody tells you no, right, there are a ton of other marketers who might say yes. And so you really just have to keep asking. But really and truly, if you have relationships and they know what you're about, you're going to have less of a hard time doing this in terms of being able to get your product on their download page. I'm going to tell you about a few things that's going to help you to get to a yes, right? So how can I get to a yes? How can I get to the point where it's more than likely that someone's going to say yes to me? Or how can I increase the chances that someone's going to say yes to me in terms of me getting my product on their download page? Once again, your product really does have to be original, right? So you can't go to somebody with a master resale rights product. You can't go to somebody with something that you bought from someplace, right? That's first of all, that's just not cool, right? For you to offer a bonus that they could have gone to get themselves. That's not adding value to their product, right? Your job in actually adding a bonus, right, is not just to get leads, right? Remember, and one of the things we talked about before is that you want to give first, right? You want to give first. So your first priority is, Mr. or Mrs. Affiliate, I want to add value to your next launch. I want to add value to your next launch, and I want to add value in this way. I'm going to offer you a product that I created that I know is tightly related to what you're already doing. So your product really does need to be original. Now, your product should be complementary. Now, I'm not just talking about related to the product. So in other words, they have a Facebook product coming out, and then you're going to give them a Facebook bonus you created. I want you to go further than that. I think you should go further than that. If their product is talking about Facebook lead ads, see if you can have a look at the product. See if you can find out what it's talking about, and then put something in there that's not covered, right? Talk to the vendor. I've done that lots of times. You talk to the vendor. You find out what is it that they're offering, what is it they're not covering. Maybe they're not covering a particular aspect of Facebook ads, and you can actually do something to add to their product so that when they put your product as a bonus on their page, they will have covered a hole in what they're offering, and it really does increase the value of their product. Right? If you understand what I'm saying by complementary and not just related, please put the number 6 in the question box. I'm talking about going beyond the fact that, okay, they're launching a CPA marketing product, so I'm going to create a CPA marketing bonus, and you should go farther. So in other words, you want to make sure you complement their product. You complement it. You make it so that it is increased in value by offering your bonus. Right? It should increase in value. Now, your product should have value to their buyers. Your product should have value to their buyers. So in other words, your product really should be something that if they had never seen it before, they would have gone out and bought it, right? They would have gone out to buy your product anyway because they're interested in the subject matter. Now, here's what could throw some folks, but I'm going to show you how to overcome that. Your product really should have great graphics, right? It needs to be really attractive looking. And I realize that a book is not always judged by its cover, but in this case, in internet marketing, it is, right? It should look fantastic, right? When they put your product on their download page, you should have something that looks really cool. And doing that is not hard to do. You might just have to go out and have something created, but that's very possible. So again, your product, if you're going to put it on somebody else's download page, it should have great graphics. Why? Why do I say that? Because typically You want them to be attracted to it so that they'll be clicking on it, so that they'll want to get what you have, right? Otherwise, it can be a wasted opportunity for you to get a space on somebody's download page or in their members area, and you don't have something that looks fantastic, right? And nobody ever clicks on it. And then all you've really got is you've got something in their download page, but all that really matters is that they click on that ad that you're putting in there, and that they choose to opt into your list to get what you have. So make sure you have great graphics. And again, we talked about this. Your product should be sellable on the real market. It should be sellable on the real market. Now, where do you get great graphics, right? Because this is a point of emphasis, and I want to make sure that you really do get this. It's very important. If you're going to go through this process, it's probably, and I want you to hear me on this, it's probably 50% of the method, right? Now, I used to think that all it was is, hey, I just going to get a spot on their download page. And actually, it still worked. It just didn't work as well as I would have liked. It didn't really start working until I understood that, yeah, the product that I put in somebody's download page could be super fantastic. That's not going to be important if it doesn't look that, if they don't know me, right? If somebody comes inside of another product, listen, I know what I put in there, but nobody's going to know it's going to be of high quality unless I make it look like it by getting some great graphics, right? So where are you going to get great graphics? Well, one of the ways you could just find out, ask another marketer. Ask another marketer who they use. Let's say you like their style. You like their style, and you say, hey, you know what? Can you just tell me who does your graphics, or can you recommend somebody? Really, it is that simple, right? You have some of these people on Skype. You are in Facebook groups with some of these people. You have some of these people in social media. Ask them, and find somebody whose graphics you like, right? Find somebody whose graphics are attractive to you, and ask them, well, who does your stuff? Is it a freelancer? Would you mind giving me their contact information, or can you recommend somebody? Now, the other thing is, go to the Warrior Forum to find graphics creators in your price range. And this is incredibly powerful and incredibly doable. Let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to do this. And I think, let's see. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Google Chrome. We're going to go to the Warrior Forum. And now I'm going to size this up for you. Okay, so we're in the Warrior Forum now. And I'm actually going to go to the Warrior Special Offer Forum. And where I'm going to go here is I'm going to go to Warriors for Hire. Warriors for Hire. Everybody should see that link right there. I'm going to go to Warriors for Hire. And then once I'm inside of here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search this forum. And I'm going to search this forum for what? I'm going to search this forum for graphics. Okay, and here's what we see here. We see here that we have some people that create graphics for us. And these are the folks that will create graphics for you. Right, so now all you've really got to do here is you're going to need to go inside and take a look here. Okay, make sure that it's something that you're going to like. Make sure that it's something that you are going to want to actually pass on to someone. And then you just want to really start looking for their contact information. Right, so let's see how we would find this person. Okay, now this particular person, Deb C, it looks like we'd have to contact her by sending her a private message. which is fine. All we'd have to do here is we'd have to go and we'd have to, let's see. Let's go back here. How does she say contact her? Okay, well, she has a website here. That's where you reach her here. So you'd reach her through her website, and she's already has her prices listed, right? She's got her prices listed here at the top of the thread. $5 for a banner, $7 for an e-cover, $8 for a logo. And again, all these are things that you're going to be able to do in order to create the graphics for what it is you're going to be doing when you put your product on that person's download page. Right? And there are several people in here that all do the same thing. Now, the prices are going to be all over the place. Right? The prices are going to be up and down the range of places where you're going to be able to get pricing to fit your budget. Wherever your budget is, you're going to be able to get something in order to make great graphics. So the Warrior Forum is a fantastic place for you to be able to find someone to do those graphics. Okay, so any questions about that? So if you're confident now that you can actually go to the Warrior Forum, or you can find someone to get graphics, please put the number 7 in the question box. Okay. Okay, and all you're really trying to do here is you're trying to create a graphic for their download and their thank you page, right? So you want to have your own graphic, you want to have an e-cover, you want to have something that's going to be enticing to them so that you will then be able to have something. And again, and here's the thing. And I understand now. Here's you want to have Photoshop and you want to have those skills so that you can edit things, right? But I don't know if I would be in the creation business, right? If you can have someone create your graphics, have them create it, right? And there are people on the Warrior Forum at every level of your budget. So graphics are something that you should have created if you were going to have something that you want to be able to sell and you want to be able to entice people to opt in. Right. So I realize that, it's a jump, right? It's a jump necessarily that, you kind of feel like you want to do everything. But here is something graphics that unless you're a graphic artist, I would say go ahead and have graphics created, and you can definitely find somebody that you can afford. And that's a great point, Dr. Faye. A few dollars to save a lot of time. A few dollars to save a lot of time. That's right. Now, whenever you're going to send people to your squeeze page, so in other words, what you're doing here, when you put a graphic on that person's download page, remember what's going to be happening. They're going to click on that graphic, and then they're going to be taken to your squeeze page. Then they're going to be opting in to get whatever it is that you promised them. Now, the graphic that's going to be on your squeeze page should be super fantastic, right? You can actually have that same kind of graphic Again, create it from someone on the Warrior Forum, right? You can have that graphic created on the Warrior Forum or by a graphic artist. Again, don't let this be something that you're doing yourself, right? Let someone else who actually can do this and do a good job of it and make you look good to do it for you. Okay, now, okay, so now to do this, one of the things that you can do, you can start with a PLR package that has with graphics. It already has a PSD file in it, right? So if you have something that you know what it looks like, this will make their job easier, right? If you just must do it yourself, right? If you just feel like you must do it yourself, or if for some reason the budget is tight, then at the very least, use some of the PSD files that you get from some of your PLR packages. Most, if not all of you, already have on your hard drive right now, right? And I say this all the time. Probably the highest and best use of PLR is for stuff like this, right? Is when you really need some raw material and you need to take that raw material and turn it into something that you can use. So you're looking for a graphic. You probably have 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 PLR products, some of which have PSD files. Now, you want to make sure you've got the rights to do this, but then you want to take that PSD file and change it so that it fits what you're trying to do, right? And typically, it only takes a tweak. So again, if the budget is tight, you can't have it outsourced, or time is tight, and you absolutely feel like you must do it yourself, at the very least, don't try to create the graphics from scratch. Use graphics you already have in your PLR packages. In fact, I'll tell you this, and I say this in my emails, that for some people, who's it, Sajan, right? I get his packages just for the graphics, right? The content's okay for me, but the graphics are the stuff I want to have. So in some cases, all PLR packages, all master resale rights packages, make sure you're getting something that you can actually use as raw material. It's not just about getting it, putting it up, and selling it. It's to have stuff to use for your purposes. Right now, once again, most PLR packages have squeeze pages. Use them, edit them. So you don't have time to put up a squeeze page or have one done. Get one that's already in existence. Get one you already have. And it does not matter if it has anything to do, it can be an entirely different product. It doesn't matter. If you like the colors in one, use that squeeze page. Does everybody understand what I'm saying here? Does that make sense? Please put the number 8 in the question box if this is making sense. Use what you have in order to use for your purposes. And it does not have to be for the product that you bought it for. So if you bought, let's say you bought Email Marketing Excellence and you have the rights, I don't know what the rights are in that, but if you have the graphics and you bought the upgrade and you have the rights to use the graphics, well, you tweak the graphics for your purposes, right? It doesn't matter what it came as. All that really matters is how you use it, right? So again, don't want to go hunting out and trying to have somebody do it for you. You use it for how you want to use it. Now, if you don't have a product, right? Now I know that I headed all of this by saying your product needs to be original. But let's say that you don't have time and you don't really want to create an original product, or for whatever reason, you don't have the time, but you do want to get started. Now, here is a case where you want to take a product where you already have the rights to it, and then you make it original, right? You make it original. We just got finished talking about last week. I think the Aurelius has something called Be Heard. So what would you do with that, right? What would you do with that? You could get branding case studies. Well, you might say, now, where would I find branding case studies? You would find branding case studies by going to Amazon and looking for authors who have written on branding. You might say, now, how do I do that, Charles? Let's do it. I'm just going to go to Amazon here. I'm going to look in a specific place. First, I'm going to write in here branding. Then I'm going to look in the Kindle store. Then I'm going to look in Kindle Unlimited. And one of the reasons why I'm looking in Kindle Unlimited is because I already have a subscription. I pay $10 a month to read as much as I want. So I can now go into these books on branding, right? And I can read any one of these books that I want to, so that I will then be able to contact. Let's see, I'm going to write in branding here. Okay, Brand Strategy 101 by Michael Drew, right? Who is Michael Drew? Okay, here's Michael Drew. All right, I don't know. Maybe Michael Drew wants to talk about branding. And so I'm going to be looking to try to get an interview with Michael Drew, right? Michael Drew has his blog right here in Amazon. So all I got to really do is go to Michael Drew's blog. Does Michael Drew have some place for me to contact him? Right here. Contact Michael Drew. So now, not everybody's going to respond to you to do an interview. But all you're really trying to do is you're trying to beef up the product by giving people something of value. Can everybody do what I just did? If you feel like now it's doable for you to be able to find someone that you can talk to in order to increase the value of a PLR product, please put the number 9 in the question box, right? You feel like you can do that now, just from what I've shown you. Please put the number 9 in the question box. That's how you do it. You basically, let's go back here. I shouldn't have closed that out, but I want to go back here. Let's do that again. I'll repeat the process. I'm going to go to Amazon, and then I'm going to go to the Kindle. I'm going to go to Kindle. I'm going to put in my subject matter. Okay, that's everything in the Kindle store. I'm going to go to Kindle Unlimited. I'm going to write in branding. And then I'm going to find one of these authors that want to talk, right? Because a self-published author typically likes to be promoted. And so what you're going to do is you're going to help them to promote themselves by interviewing them and quoting them and basically making them look good. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding value to a PLR product that is pretty much generic, but yours is going to be original because you have an interview by who? Michael Drew. And how many branding books do we have in Kindle Unlimited? 714. So probably everybody on this call could interview 5 people, and we still wouldn't be saturating it, and we'd still have an original product. Right? We can do social media. Right? We could do social media strategy. We have 475 books in Kindle Unlimited. Right? We can read any one of these with our $10 subscription. Okay, and basically all we're doing is we are finding a way to make a unique product. Now, let's find some other people. We're going to go to udemy.com. And we're going to find branding. Okay, Gary Vaynerchuk, he's pretty famous. Right? I don't know if he's going to be doing an interview with us, but okay, we've got some people here. And so all we've really got to find is one person who can talk to us about branding. And we're going to find that person, and we're going to interview them. And we're going to interview them, and we're going to add that value to our product. Right? And that's basically going to be our way of giving people, because again, when you sell somebody a PLR product, there's no reason to try to fool somebody. We don't have to do that. We don't have to trick anybody. In other words, we can come to people with some real value. And all we really got to do is be real about it, and we can find people who can help us. Okay, so that's one way we can do it. Now, we can do the interview by email. So in other words, if you feel kind of like, well, I'm not really good at interviewing people, I don't want to really do that on phone, find somebody who will interview by email. Write the questions out. Make it easy for them. Right? Make it easy for them. Uh, do it by audio or by phone. If you have to do it by Skype, you can use the website. I think it's freeconferencecall.com and record an MP3. Right? Freeconferencecall.com. Just have the person call into the phone bank. You can use Blog Talk Radio. There are lots of ways for you to be able to create this interview and get the MP3 file and then put that MP3 file inside of your product. You can do it by video. You can do it with Webinar Fusion Pro, and you can do it with what is it? You can do it with Google Hangouts, right? You can interview people, and you can record the interview. Let me kind of show you this for a second here. I'm going to show you this, and let's say that you did this interview and you did it on Google Hangouts. Well, you do the interview on Google Hangouts, and that interview is going to end up being here in your chat, in your Creator Studio. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to go to that, and then let's say that we're going to go to all of our videos. I'm going to size this up here. I can take any one of these videos. I'm going to click that download button, and then you see that there's a download MP4 button. I can now download that file, right? I can download that file onto my hard drive, right? When I download that file onto my hard drive, that's my interview, right? I might have to do some editing to it, but I've got then the bonus or the uniqueness that I'm going to be adding to my product. Okay, so I've done, if you check the email that I sent out today, okay, I have an outline on kind of a more extensive way of being able to take any PLR product to do this, right? But I've kind of given you the basics here in this call. Now, in order to do this, you are going to have to know a little HTML, right? Now, of course, you can outsource it, but you can, if you know a little HTML, you are going to be able to do this very easily and very quickly. So just learn a little bit of HTML. Now, I do have a PLR course coming out on HTML. Just so you'll know, I'm not sure when it's going to come out, but it is coming out. I did today put a PLR, I gave a PLR reference product, right? For everybody that picked up Aurelius's Be Heard. So that's going to be in there for a little while. If you want to pick up that HTML bonus as well as Aurelius's PLR product, I think it's called Be Heard. You can do that at superfastactionbonus.com/Aurelius. Okay, so any questions here on traffic? Does anyone have any questions? I'm happy to answer any of your questions on traffic or anything that we talked about tonight. Is anybody anything here that was unclear that I did not explain very well? Thank you, Dr. Fay. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Are there any questions on anything we talked about tonight, or on traffic in general? Okay, are you all comfortable that you could go back and watch this webinar and do what I've kind of laid out here? Are you comfortable? It's doable. So if you feel like it's doable, at least, right? You feel like it's doable, please put the number 1 in the question box. You feel like, okay, you know what? I might have to watch it again, but at least it feels doable. It feels doable. Please put the number 1 in the question box. You feel like it could be doable. Okay, you feel like maybe I could actually, okay, good. Good. This is everything that we talked about here today. It might take a little effort, but everything that I talked about here today is something you can do. I'm almost certain of it. Right? Everybody in this call, and most of you I know, could do what I talked about here tonight. Right? So traffic is really going to be probably it's going to take a little effort, but these are all things that you can do. Fantastic. Any other questions? Any questions here? Any questions at all? Okay, so now next week, I will probably be at the JV conference, but we will do a session anyway, right? We'll probably just do it live from JV. So I'm not really sure what it's going to look like, what time it's going to be, or what's going to go on there. But we will be doing a session next week, and we'll try to see if we can get somebody at the conference, and we'll try to see if we can do something a little different, and really try to give you some insight on traffic from another perspective. I appreciate that, Sherry. Thank you very much. Okay, everybody. Well, I will be around on the weekend, and we'll probably do a Q&A session like always, and we'll do that Q&A session. We'll do a Q&A session this weekend. Yeah, what you got to do, Dr. Faye, is you have to download the package and read the rights. So make sure you read the right certificate. And when you read the right certificate, it'll tell you in most cases that you probably got master resale rights, but all marketers define master resale rights differently, right? So read it carefully. So just make sure you read the right certificates carefully. All right, great question. The submit page for the pre-coaching survey is not available. So the link that I sent you for the pre-coaching survey, okay, let me check up on that, Wanji. Let me check up on that for you. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you again very much for being here. I certainly appreciate you all being here on this Thursday evening. And again, we'll be getting together this weekend at some point. I'm not entirely sure when. And again, my weekend call will float. It'll float in terms of time. And at some point, yeah. And if you haven't heard from Dwayne, he'll probably be reaching out to you soon, personally. Okay, everybody. Well, I will check on that, Dr. Faye and Wanji. I'll check on that right away. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.